Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You are listening to Lurie Daniel Favors here on SiriusXM's Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. You guys know I am always excited to bring voices of people who aren't just talking about it, but they being about it. It's literally one of the things we talk about every single day on this show. And right now, my next guest is no different. She is Kina Collins, a Democrat candidate for Congress in Illinois' 7th District. She is also, however, an extraordinarily active organizer. She has done amazing work in the areas of gun violence prevention, fighting for Medicare for all. She says literally, get out the vote is her love language. She is here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Kina Collins.
Thank you so much, Lurie, for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, you are a busy woman out in them streets, taking it to the streets. You were very active in this battle for justice for Laquan McDonald. You have been noted as someone who's been doing the work of engaging in gun violence prevention. Talk with us about your campaign and how you made the decision to go from activist to candidate.
Yeah, I mean, the time is now. We are in a watershed moment. And these urgent crises that we saw breaking out when the pandemic started require urgent leadership. I'm running for office because Danny Davis has been my congressman since I was 5 years old. And the issues that existed in the mid-90s when he first stepped into office still exist today in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. I'm running because the voices of survivors of everyday gun violence need to be brought to the forefront. This is a progressive issue. And I'm running because Black women are not the pack mules of the Democratic Party. We are the competition. And, you know, that means that we are not, if we have the moral fiber, election cycle after election cycle to save not just our communities, but vote to save the entire nation. Imagine what happens if you let us lead.
Wow. So okay. I mean, you speak in my love language, which is empowering our community from the inside out. You know, there are a number of folks who have come from activist communities that we are seeing now even more prevalently sit in seats of elected power. Here in New York City, for example, we had a number of candidates who are coming out of real traditions of on the ground organizing. I'm not talking about, you know, the theoretical. I'm talking about on the ground at the meetings, late night, one of the only ones doing the posters and getting the permits and doing all the work of ensuring that people have what they need to be as active and mobilized as possible. And then when they transition into elected office, it's a very different environment. We are seeing that some of them are taking the activism skills and the skills that made them phenomenal on the ground activists into those spaces to varying degrees of success. Have you thought at all about how you might have to embrace an additional skill set? I don't say replace the activist skill set because you need to be activists in that spaces, but have you thought about the additional skill sets that you will need to draw on and cultivate as you transition, assuming successfully, from activist to elected office?
Well, you know, I don't think it's either or. I think it's and both. When we talk about organizing, it's about coalition building. It's about coming to the table and making sure that we are advocating on behalf of the least of these, the most marginalized, those who need direct services, who can't go to those late night meetings, right? Because they have 2 jobs or they have to get their kids from school. And so I think in addition to just what I see my organizing background and contributing to me becoming a representative for Illinois 7 residents in Congress is just an accountability metric. Those organizing groups will hold me accountable to make sure that I'm continuing to bring that voice of authenticity for the struggle. But I got goosebumps when you started talking about getting permits and getting those things done, because some people like to think of organizing as fluff work, but it's really the way that we say we love our city, our state, our nation. Right. And so prior to me running for office, I wrote civil rights legislation on the statewide level here in Illinois, the Illinois Council on Women and Girls Act. And it required me to tangle with really prominent statesmen in the Illinois General Assembly. I had a Republican governor I was up against when I got that legislation passed, protecting reproductive health care, making a council that advises the governor and state lawmakers on any policy that directly impacts us, and including gender expanding people to that council. And they lost and we won. And that's what organizing brings to the flavor of electoral organizing and public policy. It's saying that we do not believe in a politics of leaving folks behind. That is the core. And so I see this, as you said, as an extension to the work that I've already been doing.